Sassy Eliot.
Hank.
Sassy Eliot.
Girl.
The WIP Afternoon Show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz.
We got to make it longer.
Why don't you clip that? Hello, Jill on line 1.
She agrees.
All right.
2 for 2, by the way.
Yeah. Eliot is here for Tuesdays with Eliot, our first off-season.
Yes.
You got to turn your mic on.
I thought I had the wrong one.
There you go. Our first off-season Tuesdays with Eliot.
Yeah. I texted you this, but I was doing my CBS hit over the weekend, and the director goes, "Hey, Sassy Eliot." Nothing like in a professional setting, new work environment, trying to impress, and they're like, "Hey, Sassy Eliot." Girl! Yeah, girl, yeah. How about those Eagles?
Wow. That's going to take over the city?
Yeah. I think the pregame show next year, you'll hear a little more of it. Now they'll pick up steam.
Yes. Oh, I'm so glad.
I'm so happy you're happy.
Well, I just like how bits happen. No one will have any. They'll just think that we're calling you sassy.
Well, I guess before it was, hey, your pants are tight, or
yes. So Eliot, just to ask you the thing that we started the show with, do you think that changing offensive coordinators will make a significant difference alone in the Eagles' offensive performance?
I don't. No. I think as long as Nick Sirianni and Jalen Hurts are here, this is mostly what it's going to look like. And I also think the idea of bringing in somebody, like you've heard the phrase of Vic Fangio on the offensive side of the ball, someone that'll come in and it's his, it's his side of the ball, right? Like he designs the offense, he calls the plays. You have to probably let him bring in his staff. So you're talking about changing a lot of the staff over. I just don't think that'll happen as long as Nick's the head coach and Jalen's the quarterback. I also don't think you can have a system really where you have a head coach and you have a quarterback and they have almost no input on what's going in on the offense. So if people truly want a new offense and people really think like watching this doesn't work, the scheme's boring, it's vanilla, then those people should want to either fire Nick or trade Jalen, because those are the only way you're going to make it. Like I wouldn't do that because I think they can win this way. I think guys were open on Sunday. Look, it wasn't a great year, but I think they could win the Super Bowl with this current offense, head coach, quarterback, and offensive coordinator. But if other people don't feel that way, everyone that wants Patullo fired, if that's the problem you want fixed, then you're coming to the wrong solution. Like Patullo's not going to change anything. You either got to fire Nick or trade Jalen.
And do you think they will? Do you think they will?
No, I don't. You
don't think? No. Patullo.
Oh, yeah. I think Patullo. He could still be in the building, but I do not think he will be the offensive coordinator next year because of the public backlash. Like, I think that's the sole reason. It's like why they fired Brian Johnson in 2023. It was like someone had to go.
Yeah,
Did they fire Brian Johnson because of that, or he and Nick?
I think that was part of it, but I also think that someone heads had to roll after that collapse. Now, this year was not as bad as that, obviously.
And here's what I was going to tell you what's else different about that. But start with that dynamic of Nick and Brian Johnson and how well they work together. Then secondly, you had Matt Patricia in the building, and Sean Desai was the defensive coordinator, and somehow he gets supplanted as defensive coordinator, but is still there. In other words, there were other contributing factors.
It was a mess. It was a mess overall.
That's not what this situation is. This is basically saying it's one person.
Agreed.
And you're the reason.
Yeah, and if they do get rid of him and they'll have a press conference, I think it's fair to ask, how is this going to make, how is removing Patullo going to make the team better?
Right.
Just flat out say it. That's who you're blaming,
yep.
right? So, yeah, they will talk eventually. I think they could talk by the end of the week, so we'll probably have resolution by then. And we'll hear what they have to say.
Well, and I think, because I can almost predict their answers, because their answer is going to be, it wasn't just Kevin.
Right.
And they're going to say, the offensive line will be better, we're all going to work harder, da-da-da. And then my question to that would be, why can't that happen with Kevin Patullo?
Yeah.
And again, this isn't me, I'm not stumping for Kevin Patullo.
Dude, I feel the same way when I defend him.
Yeah.
I didn't even like the hire. I remember us being in here. And I was not a fan of the hire, but we also just have to.
I was.
Yeah, and
Donovan Chestpat.
Yeah.
Well, but to be honest, we have to be real about what we saw. And while the offense was not good enough, you hear a lot, the offense is so talented, they underperformed. They had an entire new side of the offensive line, basically, because Lane only played half the year. AJ's situation was a mess all year. Jalen's accuracy took a significant dip this year. And everyone says, nobody's open. There's been so many, all 22 and think pieces about the offense since the game on Sunday. guys were open throughout the game and on the last drive. They ran, 10 plays on that final drive? Guys were open on 9 of them. So, yes, the fourth down play was not a good one. No one was open. Agreed. But it doesn't happen if Devontae catches that third down pass where he is open.
Do you think it puts too much pressure on
Or
the
if
order?
Jalen makes a
Yes,
better
agreed.
throw.
Or
Yeah,
Jalen
it
makes a better
throw. Eliot,
Yeah.
Come on.
get
I tweeted
real.
that 2 days ago. All right? The Jalen Hurts rewatch report card.
Hold on. You also said that that Goddard was wide open, basically, on the
He was.
fourth down play.
No, it wasn't.
He wasn't wide open, but he was certainly open. I mean, he could.
Look,
He had
it was a window, small window.
no, not the fourth down play
Okay.
that was
Okay.
incomplete. The
Okay.
4th and 5.
Oh, the one he caught.
Early
caught.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
for
That was
sure.
a
I'm talking
crucial-
the last play. The last play of the game.
The last play, there was a window, but I certainly wouldn't qualify him as open.
Right.
There was a window where, and Jalen, actually, it's ironic his season ends uncharacteristically forcing a ball over the middle. But there was a window there. But no, I would not classify him as open on that play.
Okay, all right. But you did in a tweet.
No, I was talking about the first fourth down.
No.
Unless
No,
I
you weren't.
misremember. Okay,
No.
we'll find the tweet
No.
then.
I'll
We can
find
talk
it.
about
Well,
it.
he'll find it.
Yeah, fine, you worry.
Find it. I'm sure you will.
He'll
Sure,
find
they
it.
will.
Yeah, we'll talk about
You
it.
can see all the 49ers defenders standing there. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, again, because he's not open.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't really what you said, but
Well,
whatever.
we'll see what I said.
Well, do you? I mean, yeah. I guess it's more difficult. I guess I'm just looking at this as if you put everything perfect around it, they can win. It seems like the pressure to get all of those things exactly right may be greater than the pressure of finding a quarterback who can operate. There's really like in the top 15 quarterbacks, there's really two types of players, I think. There's the, not to overdo this, the elite guys that are that can lift the team, right? And then everybody else, you're just looking for somebody who can operate what you want to do, right? The Jared Goffs of the world,
Sure.
So I just wonder if it's a little bit easier to find the second guy than it is the first. It's impossible to find the first guy.
Yeah.
And Jalen doesn't really fit into that mold of those quarterbacks that you just sort of give the game plan and there is this floor. Now, the ceiling might not be the same for a lot of these players, but it seems to me that if you can't find an elite quarterback, then finding someone who can just execute in terms of this NFL, it might be the best path forward. Or the easiest path forward.
Yeah, so I don't think they're going to trade Jalen, right? So
sure,
I
sure.
get the point you're making, but I think when they sit,
I'm not saying to. I'm really just talking in a grand sense. If you just have to build this great offensive line with a great running back and great receivers, I don't know. And I'm not saying any quarterback can succeed there, but there's a pretty long list. You know?
Yeah, I think most quarterback could succeed with a great offensive line, a great running game, right? Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Now, I do think Jalen can fit in that first category you were talking about. I think we've seen him do that, right? Like the way he creates plays out of nothing, the way he avoids pressure. He can do that. He's been good on third downs. This year, though, he didn't run it as much, and that definitely took him a step back. And I think him not running it on Sunday was surprising.
Well, yeah. So it does make you think going forward is what is he as a quarterback, right? So now there are tush pushes in there, but
By the way,
it
was back Sunday.
It was back
Yeah.
Sunday. It's worth noting the first 4 games of the year, he ran 14 times, 9 times,
Yeah,
9
so-
times.
yep.
Yeah, 14 times, 9 times, 9 times, 9 times. They averaged 27 points a game. The rest of the year, he averaged, I think, almost 5.5 runs a game, and they averaged 20 points a game. That is a significant drop. It's not the only thing, but if he isn't going to run, I just wonder what we're looking at as a quarterback if he doesn't evolve significantly as a passer, because you see the quarterbacks that use running as a significant part of their game. If they do not evolve the passing part to a significant degree, they just become... they become a quarterback that isn't nearly as effective
I think
anymore.
this year, a lot of players on the team were not who we think they are. Like Saquon didn't have a good year. AJ didn't have, all those things. The question is, the way Jalen played this year, was that just the result of everyone had a bad year and that's not who he's going to be next year? Because if Jalen can be the accurate passer he was in 24, 23, 22, then we can talk more about what he can be as a passer. Because if you rebuild the offensive line, He gets better at staying in the pocket. I still think sometimes he bails on clean pockets, which hurts for sure. But I think he throws at his best, right? Like, which he was not at this year. But at his best, he does throw a catchable, accurate ball, right? Like he does. And so I think in what they can be, it would be him in the pocket, like, hitch routes, like on time, that type of stuff.
But isn't the question if you ask him to do it more, right? Andre Drummond can hit. I'm sorry to compare, Jalen to Andre Drummond.
Thing, yeah.
Andre Drummond can hit 40% of his threes if he's shooting 1.5 threes a game. If you ask him to increase your volume to 7 threes a game, I can promise you he's shooting 26% from three. Mm-hmm. So the question with Jalen is some of his decrease in accuracy associated with an increase in frequency? And if you are going to have to throw it more, is he the same accurate quarterback that you have seen in previous situations where he probably just didn't throw the ball nearly as much?
Well, I think the other question is, can they do something different with him? Or, because like they've run, Devontae said it, they've run basically the same scheme for 4 years. The difference this year was execution. And I do think a fair criticism of that is, are you making big changes and are you becoming predictable in that way, right? But the question will be now, can Jalen do something drastically different? Like that'll be the question next season. Or are they going to rebuild the line, run the ball better? Like that really helps the offense. And then they kind of do what they did in 2024.
I just don't know how you do all of this with Nick still here as the head coach. And if Devontae is correct and they've been running the same offense for the last 4 years, that's because the head coach is who the head coach is. Mm. And not a whole lot from a schematic standpoint is going to change. And when I say that, I'm saying they have a system that they're running that they've tried to cater around Jalen's sort of comfort zone and what he does well and what he likes to do, right? That's the thing for me that was missing. How about the deep balls? Jalen used to be one of the best deep ball throwers in the league. Well, where did that go this year?
I think his accuracy took a big step back. So I agree with you on that. Now, I also think...
you know what I think? A lot of those throws went to AJ.
And AJ's a step slower.
Yes.
Like, AJ got over... There were, like, a lot of times this year we would watch and say AJ got overthrown, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at the 2 drops that he had, I wouldn't classify them as drops, but that first deep one, like over the middle of the field within the 5, where he kind of puts his arms out and pulls them back, I think he looked slow on that to me. And then I think the second one, which I believe was the next down after, where he's going down the sideline. Yeah. Like that one I would classify probably closer to a drop. It does hit both of his hands. But again, the ball is out in front of him and he's reaching for it like this. Now, is that Jalen? I mean, Jalen's been a good deep ball thrower. The Devontae deep balls worked this year.
Well, that wasn't a deep ball. And
not deep ball, but
his throws to the sideline were short a lot.
Yeah, in the game on Sunday, I thought a lot of balls died as they got to
you got the win.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah,
you got the win factor out there. That was something he was good at for years.
Yep.
And it's not like he has the strongest arm in the world, so his timing, when he hits that back foot, he's throwing that ball to a spot, and he expects that receiver to run that ball down and go get it. Mm-hmm. And I think some of this is AJ's not the same receiver that he was, right? I think he didn't have much of a problem throwing it deep to some of the other guys, but I think back to the Denver game, right? The Denver game where AJ stopped running on the deep ball downfield. Like, that's a good throw. If I'm going to ask Jalen to throw the ball down that hash mark, I don't want him getting it intercepted. If that ball is short Sunday, it's 2 49er defenders there. It's probably picked off by one of them. So he has to get that ball over those safeties.
Yep.
And AJ should be able to run under that and catch that.
Now, he did overthrow Goddard on the bomb, and he underthrew Dotson.
The Goddard thing seemed like a miscommunication to me.
Let me clear this up.
Yeah.
That was purposely.
Oh, really?
Yes, because here's what happens there. They call that play, and they are expecting that safety to do something else.
Oh, to peel off.
And once he doesn't, the play is basically dead.
Okay, so he's just throwing it away.
So he's just throwing it and making sure it's an incomplete pass and nobody can get it. But you have to throw it in that area so it's not intentional grounding. Okay. There's no way in hell he thought Goddard was going to run that ball.
Yeah, because you saw Goddard kind of like cut in and then go up. I think Goddard's reacting to the ball going.
Yeah.
But if you're saying why he threw it.
It's the defensive look that he got there. He just threw it away.
Okay.
He threw it away.
Last thing to circle back to the OC. Eliot, you first. Ben Ike.
Okay.
2-pronged question. They have a conversation, Howie Roseman, Jeffrey Lurie, Nick Sirianni, they all decide we got to move on from Kevin Patullo. First part of the question, do you think Nick Sirianni gets a serious say in who they hire? Second part of the question, do you think he should?
I think he will get a serious say in who they hire, and I think he should. But I also think if Nick's going to be your head coach, then we have to accept that you are hiring somebody that will collaborate with Nick, and Nick will be involved in this.
Yes.
Even if the initial plan is it's going to be on his own, what's Nick going to do during offensive meetings? Go sit in his office and work on his weekly speech? Like, he's going to be in the meetings, and I don't think it's a good working relationship to have the idea. Like, this is what we thought was going to be with Kellen. Remember? It was like, well, what's Nick's responsibility going to be? And what ended up happening? Like, Nick and Kellen ended up being very involved, right?
To be fair, I don't think he had anything to do with hiring Kellen Moore. Not say to say, I think they went over.
I think that was
the
Eagles. I mean,
Maybe,
obviously he.
They probably asked him, "Do you have a problem with this guy?"
Yeah. But every year,
they've
had a coordinator, Nick's been heavily involved.
So, yeah, in the offense.
Correct.
Yes. Ike, do you think that he will get a serious say, and do you think he should get a serious say?
Yes and yes.
Yes and yes.
Yes.
Okay. All right.